How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you? Any tired? Any questions over there?
Do you have your freedom papers? Laughter can't be recorded as much as it can be experienced. It shakes sins loose. It puts gold over a rotten tooth. It is a song that is never too long. Uncle is here now. He draws a crowd, he can round and subdue. He is the ringmaster with nothing but a brim hat and a yak or a cold brew. Step back, y'all, let him stew. I said, step back, y'all, let him stew. Step back, let him stew. He can compete with the sun at noon. What's life without an uncle that can cut the food? When they reminisce about you, my God, when they reminisce about you. Will they smack their lips? Will they remember you smiled but snickered when you turned away? Will they remember the paper campaign placed in brown hands without a plan for their care or a cure for their despair? My credit is always good enough to vote. Never mind the bitter notes from hoarse throats. That's a note, that's a note. That's the end of one, y'all.
First up, welcome your District 1 candidates, Dan Miller and Dan Engelhardt.
What
you plan to do to bridge the park gap in southeast Como? And would you support a park at the Tuttle Elementary School site?
Well, we got the grand rounds, we've got $5.5 million that's going to get planted someplace soon. One of those locations would be on the east side of the southeast Como neighborhood, the park that's being planned there. I support what's going on at Tuttle School and what you folks are doing, and I think that is admirable to be continuing to figure out how we can move forward on that in conjunction with how that building will get reutilized.
Mr. Engelhardt?
Yes, absolutely. I support a park at the Tuttle School. I think that we've missed some opportunities along the way to do more with that property, and that's unfortunate. I'm not sure exactly how far things are along with that, but I think there's some more opportunities. But yes, I support a park there. Southeast Como has incredible disparities. There are amazing people like you, Victoria and Zach, that advocate for your neighborhood. The promise and the commitment of the park system that was created in the late 1800s is just not being met in Southeast Como. And District 1 is, like Ward 1 in some ways. The neighborhoods with Southeast on them get ignored by the bulk of by the majority of the map, if you will. And it's time for that to stop. So Southeast Como has Van Cleef Park, and that's it. There's density, which is good, so there's not a lot of green space, but we got to make sure those park dedication fees with any new construction get committed to green space, and what can we do to really lift up and change the massive disparities, not only in Southeast Como, but on all of that part of District 1, including Prospect Park. So, if we got a plan, and we want to love and talk about plans and however many years they're going to take, we got to make sure they're met. And and it's nice for me thinking about winning and getting elected to know that there are such amazing advocates and passionate and solid and doing the work already in Southeast Como to help bring this forward. So I look forward to working with all you in community and addressing every single disparity, whether it's literally the disparity for everyone in green space or who people are, where they come from, how they look, how they were born. Let's go.
This is a very technical question, but Park Board Commissioner requires a lot of technical knowledge, so I think it's fair. Currently there are community gardens in about a dozen parks. There's about 200 people who get plots every year, which is less than half of the number of people who apply who would like one. And the policy is undergoing an update. Right now, the staffer who runs the community garden program can only site new gardens in designated urban agriculture zones as part of each park's long-range vision plan. Would you be open to reconsidering allowing park staff to independently decide where to place community gardens?
Mr. Engelhardt, you have the mic.
It sounds like a bit of a yes or no, and the answer is yes, open to reconsidering that. I think community gardens are great. I mean, that's you're going to be going, the proverbial you, that person that's invested in that dirt and in those plants is going to be going back there on a regular basis, and that's part of welcoming and belonging and safety and is just people being present and caring about where they're at and where they live and what feeds them and nourishes their soul and their spirit. So the answer is yes. I'll just expound a little bit because I guess I can't help myself. But when the community gardens are great, and let's have more of them, and let's open things up and not be so rigid. Yes. So the answer is yes. But I mean, when there's a community garden, Sioux Line and the Greenway, and that's a shame. That $800,000, because people couldn't even think about moving their community garden a little bit, and we lost out on an accessible entry point to the Greenway. So yes to community gardens, but also not just every single community garden, no matter what, we're going to hold on to dear life because of this specific location when we're losing out on $800,000 in an accessible entry point to a wonderful shared space like the Greenway. So yes, and thank you.
Mr. Miller?
I'd be open to reviewing it. I don't know enough about that specific thing to really tell you, other than that there's a lot of variety in community gardens and interest from boulevards to private spaces that I see cropping up in North Minneapolis, Northeast Minneapolis. There's a lot of really, really cool stuff. And a community like Southeast Como has a number of gardens that are floral and vegetable that community has figured out how to do small grants, be able to pull this stuff together. And what's really beautiful, something that I don't see enough of, was to see people in their 80s sitting with college students, and they liked each other. They liked each other because they liked the plant. And I found that to be something that we should model in other areas that would be really cool.
It is now time for the end of forum survey. Underneath your chairs, you will see a QR code. If you could scan that and take the next few minutes to fill that out, we would be most appreciative. Thank you so much.
Thank you all for coming tonight. The next forum is October 23rd. It's the candidates, the park board at large, and that will be October 23rd at Chambers Hotel. So thank you all for coming tonight, and I hope to see you guys in a couple weeks.